Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you are new here, my name is Elena and I am the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos, and I think this is crooked. Oh my. Is that better? Maybe it's me. So if you're new here, I am the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos, and here on the channel we talk about everything from homeschooling to homemaking and all the things in between. Please ignore my half-finished bookshelves behind me. I have started a bookshelf reorganization and I'm halfway through and not completed. So it took on a little bit longer than I thought it was. That's probably something I should put on my goals. So it is already going to be July, and here on the channel I like to throw out my monthly goals and invite you to share some of your monthly goals down below in the comment section so we can be cheering one another on and just encouraging one another to help us be the best versions of ourselves, or maybe take a look at a couple of things and see what tweaks or changes we are hoping to make, what we are inspiring to do amongst our chaos, if you will. So for June, I will link that video up in the cards. I think it's on the side. If not, you'll see it. What my June goals were, and I went into a little bit more detail there, but I set categories, or I set 4 goals in 4 different categories. That's what I'm trying to say. And I did do pretty okay. If that's a thing, I did pretty okay. So for my faith, I wanted to reach out to more people. I'm just going to kind of wrap it up in a nutshell. If you want to know more in detail, you can catch that video. But I wanted to reach out to more people, in particular in my church, and that's why I put it down under my faith category. I wanted to go out and try to build community, and I did reach out more. I put myself out there in ways that I probably don't normally do, and it just was okay. There were just seeds, maybe, of friendship being planted, but nothing that really took, and that's okay. I'm going to continue attending church and reaching out as I can. I know that with summer upon us, a lot of families like to go on vacation, and you know, as an adult, sometimes it can be, or as you just get older, it can be harder to make those connections and friendships because people kind of already have their groups and their circles. And so I'm just continuing to pray on it and let God lead me where He will with that. I am going to, like I said, we want to, as a family, continue attending the same church that we have been. That's been a blessing, that we've all felt pretty comfortable and are trying to be as involved as we can. We're just going to continue praying that we are where God wants us to be and that we are listening to what He would have us do. For my personal quiet time with the Lord, I have found that I have been struggling. I am not doing a reading plan normally throughout the year. I will try to read the Bible in a year, and I decided not to do that for this year. I decided pretty early on in the year not to do it because I just felt like it was becoming just something I was checking off my list, and I wasn't really diving in deep. So I do think that I will look for quiet pockets in my day where I can continue to be reading the Bible, and if there's something that of study or something that speaks to me, I will go ahead and try that. For now, what I have been doing is changing up my morning routine a little. So I used to work out in the afternoon, and now I have been trying to work out in the morning, and so sometimes I will listen to worship or a sermon or something like that, and then sometimes I will read my Bible after I work out if the kids are still asleep. So that's the big thing, right? I have a harder time getting in that reading or quiet when my kiddos are up, especially my younger ones, but we're making do, and we're just kind of going with the ebbs and flows of life. And I have been playing around with sharing what our mornings look like and what that morning routine-ish looks like for me in the summer, and seeing if that's something that I was going to try to make a video out of, but we'll see. So for the month of July, we're going to continue going to church. We're going to continue reaching out and trying to make some friendships, and then also going to just continue to look for pockets of the day to get that quiet time in. For our financial goals, I had a budget meeting that my husband and I were going to sit down and discuss our budget, and then kind of go over some of what our big saving goals were going to be. So we did half of that. we did sit down and we had a really good budget meeting. We used to have budget meetings every Friday. It was just kind of something that we would do when he would get home from work. So we would sit down and we would have a drink together and we would discuss the budget. Having the drink and dinner over our budget meeting kind of helped. So typically we're not eating over the numbers. We would eat and then have our budget meeting afterwards. But it didn't last that long because we were doing it frequently, once a week. And so we were just able to update and move on. But we hadn't been doing that, so we needed to sit down and kind of have a longer meeting. So we did get the meeting portioned down, but we didn't really set down any finite like numbers as far as savings goals and things like that. Right now, like most people, I feel like we are just trying to stay afloat of inflation and just how much things are increasing for us. We are a family of 5 hearty eaters. I have said that numerous times on our channel. So our grocery and our household budget are one combined. They're not separated, and it just, you know, it's rising and we're spending a lot more there. And so we're just trying to do a good job tracking so that we know what we're kind of sitting at. But it has just been changing so much month to month that it's really hard for us to sit down and say, here's what our budget amount is, and this is what we're gonna spend. We did get leaner down on this last month, so that's a bonus. And then going into the summer, we'll see where that takes us. So financially, what our goals are is going to be to continue tracking. I did set up a personal size planner wallet. I will link that video for you up in the cards too if you want to see that whole setup. And I think that that's really going to help as far as tracking, and then I can come to my husband and tell him here's where we're at and here's what we have for weekends out or things like that. It'll explain more in that video, but that's our financial goals are going to be just kind of tracking the money that's going in and out meticulously so that we know we have a better idea of what our budget is looking like. For the month of June, my homeschool goal was just to finish the year strong, and we did. We just wrapped up our homeschool year a few weeks ago, and so I am excited that we are just taking a couple of weeks off to do nothing. And by I mean nothing, I mean I don't have any set plans. We're just going to relax and have some time off from school and scheduling. But with that, I will say for July, we are going to kick off our summer scheduling. So that will probably happen the second week or third week of July, probably the second, I think. But my goal for homeschool in the month of July is going to be to get that summer schedule down. I find that the kids and I just do a lot better when we have some sort of summer schedule, because when we have taken off the entire summer, we have not done that often. We've really, I think, only done it once or twice because it turns out to be kind of messy for us and not as enjoyable. We do much better when we have some sort of structure. When we have, like I said, the complete breaks, I find that there is way too much screen time. There is just, instead of being outside and really enjoying the summer and really just filling it with what we would do if we had no budget, right? If we could afford, we would take family road trips and we would take vacations, but that's just not in our budget. And so we do a lot more staycations and things like that. But it was turning into, instead of that being fun and something for us to look forward to, it was just becoming the norm. And TV was on just way too much. And with that, our attitudes were changing and kind of poor. And so I just find that having a summer schedule works best for us. For the month of July, I'm going to set out our summer schedule and then get started with that. For my final goal, our final category of goals was my health. And so normally I had set out like 90-day goals, 90-day fitness journeys, and I really enjoyed that because it gave me a start date and an end date, and it just really worked well for my brain. I liked having those. But recently I've had a little bit of a shift, and I think I'm going to switch it up. So for June, I really wanted to focus on mental health and continuing my workouts and getting water in. I was doing really poorly on water. So my water has gone up considerably with the hot weather. It is much, much easier for me to get my water in these days. But I am still continuing to work on my mental health. I feel like this is just going to be a lifelong journey for me. This is just something that I'm going to continually have to check in with myself with and work on. And that is okay so long as I know that and I'm prepared for it. And so with that, I'm going to continue that goal into the month of July. I kind of feel like I got a good head start, or like started chipping away at some things in the month of June. I've really been looking closely and researching the gut health and how that affects your mind. And so we started introducing more fermented foods into our life, really tracking my sleep better, like I said, my water, my exercise, and looking at my fiber. All of that kind of works together and can help. I'm going to give my disclaimer here and say I am in no way a doctor or a medical professional. This is just pure research that I'm doing for myself, and what I'm seeing what will work for me. So for me, we're looking into this gut connection, and I am happy to say that I am finding some connections and things that are helping. I also think that the change of weather totally helps. I think that the sunshine and getting that vitamin D helps and things like that. So I think it's just a combination of things that are helping me, and I am looking forward to going into July and seeing if I can make even more improvements. I will say for the month of July, as far as fitness goes, I will have another video where I go into detail more about wrapping up my last 90-day journey and then sharing what my new fitness goals will be. I just haven't sat down to do that yet. So be on the lookout. Here is your channel. If you aren't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss that video. When it comes out, I am going to switch things up dramatically for me, or maybe not dramatically, drastically. Maybe I'm being dramatic about the changes I hope to make. Anyways, I am going to make some goals that are not scale based, and this I think is like a first for me. I think that at some point in my fitness journey, in my fitness life, or in my lifetime search for fitness and health, I have set goals saying that I just want to feel healthier and I just want to feel good in my skin, but it was too lofty and I was too far away from that to really have that kind of goal work for me. So this time around, I am going to be setting some other fitness goals that are just not scale based. I also think that I want to come up with some kind of incentive for myself for working out. So I have noticed that throughout the month, I have some weeks where I am doing great, and then I have some weeks where I completely drop off, and I'm trying to track and kind of see why and where that's happening. I think that I'm going to try to find some small incentives for myself if I get my week of workouts in. So this is not going to be anything big. Like I've mentioned multiple times in this video, we don't have a very large budget, but so it's not going to be, you know, buying myself a brand new gym outfit every week that I do my workouts. But maybe at the end of the month, if I've hit my monthly workout goals, I can buy a new workout top or bottom, or even just socks. And it doesn't even really, honestly, I want to think more outside the box and think of ways that I can give myself incentives that maybe don't involve going out and buying new stuff. So I don't know. I haven't set that down on concrete. It's something that I'm thinking of, but if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know how you stay consistent with your workouts and if you have incentives for yourself. Last thing in the health realm is continue on with our fermentation. So that goes in with the gut health. And as I film this, I'm in the middle of my first fermentation project and I'm super excited about it. And so I want to, instead of purchasing things that are already fermented, see if that's something that we can do here at home. And just some kind of bonus things that I want to make sure that we're doing in the month of July that I didn't really know where to put this in which category. I guess it could go in like our health category because it has to do with the outdoors and things. But I want us to really make sure that we're getting outside on the days that will allow it. So it is warming up, and by warming up, I mean like it just getting hot now. And so we either need to get out first thing in the morning or in the evenings, or find, you know, like that middle time in the day is going to be too hot to just be like running out in the sprinklers or something like that. But if we can get out in the mornings, or if we can go for a walk in evenings, I just want to make sure that we're getting out and about and enjoying the warm weather while we can. Also want us to, as a family, these are kind of more family goals, so getting us outside, and then I also want us to continue on with our garden projects. So I do have a couple of videos on our gardening. We are very novice gardeners. The only thing that I can successfully grow is weeds. I have tried it all, so it is really hard for me to master this skill. It is not something that I have done, but I keep trying. And so this season we are trying again, and I have some different kind of plants that we're trying, some other ones that we've tried before, but I'm walking you along with my journey and just sharing it. And if you have tips or tricks on those things, please watch those videos and leave me some tips and tricks down below. We are having a really hard time with weed control. I don't know. I feel like we are just seeing weeds like every day. Those things pop up so fast. Is that normal? Is that how that works? I don't know. And really, I don't know anything about gardening. So there's a lot of prayer and a lot of hard work going into this. So you want to follow along, that might be fun for you too, but that's something that I want to continue on in the month of July. I want to make sure that we are not quitting and then just going forward, and then we're having fun with it, and then it doesn't turn into something that we despise. And so so far it's been really beautiful, and we've been talking a little bit about amazing way that God provides, and how from a teeny tiny seed what he can do with it, and how that portrays into our faith and what he can do with a teeny tiny bit of faith in you, and how he can grow that. And so on that note, I think I will end this here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me month after month and watching these goal videos. I would love for us to build a community here where we are supportive and encouraging and cheering one another on in our goals. So if you would like to share yours below, I would love to hear about them. I wanted to say hear about them, then I realized I would be reading them. So I would love to read them. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you haven't been told, please know that you are so loved and appreciated. Thanks for watching.